All right, let me fix this. Right her. Oh, quality looks terrible. There we go. There we go. That's much better. What's up, you guys? I'm trying something a little different tonight with the YouTube's live feature. I just wanted to launch a live show off of YouTube instead of going through Google Hangouts. So let's see how this goes. And I'm just sketching a character I started thinking about today. Came up with a new idea that I want to just flesh out a little bit. He's not part of any of the stories that I've been developing yet, but still pretty cool nonetheless. Yes, this is YouTube's Go Live feature. It's just like when I do it on my phone, except it's just I'm doing it to my computer. Let me, let me have some more. I'm using a G Pen nib from Tachikawa. I'm also working, probably not on the best paper for this. I'm working on vellum texture paper, so it's a little bit different. It doesn't quite glide on the paper like it can on a smooth surface, also known as plate. I'm putting a little more energy into inking this, probably than I normally would with something like this, but I like this pen. I like this a lot. I like working with traditional tools like this. I've been listening to the live stream that is going over with John Malin and Andrew Huerta. He's on his final 30 or so hours. So if you guys are interested in Huerta's work, you guys may or may not have seen his stuff on Drawn and Quartered. I need to clean this pen off. He's wrapping up his campaign tonight. I hate using this. I'd rather use paper for this. I don't have any. I seem to have misplaced my paper towel stuff. But anyway, so, and I'm still working in my temporary setup while I wait for my new desk and chairs to arrive. Got them from Walmart. Trying to keep it as inexpensive as possible. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, go to Indiegogo. Check out Sovereign by Andrew Huerta. That's Huerta. This guy here, though, he's gonna be cool. I think I have plans for this guy. I have special plans for this guy. See here. ink should flow smoothly. If it doesn't, if it starts to clog a little bit, it's because the ink is drying in the pen. So don't really want that. I love the variety that this pen nib gives. So I'm only going to be on for a few minutes. I just wanted to kind of just hang loose with you guys a little bit for a few minutes as I prepare for the end of the night activities. I'm planning to get some rest tonight. I've stayed up quite a bit over the last few nights for nothing. And so I guess it depends on how many people join. I may or may not stick around, but I have a chat here. I'm not sure if it works the same way as it does under normal circumstances. So if you guys would be interested, please just at least just give me like a wave or a thumbs up or something in the chat so I can know that the feature works. That'd be super helpful for me, guys. And also, if you can hear me, I wasn't intending for this to be a silent stream at all. I need something. I don't have it right now. Let's get that a little more centered. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard me or not. So okay. All right, kind of like that too. Downside to this is there's no way to share it. So I don't know what's going on with that. I wonder what this means. That's some sort of button. I don't know what it is. Hmm. If you guys have any questions, please ask away. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time when we first met, girl? When we fell in love. Do you remember? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Time to clean my pen. Running out of ink, and it's nasty. All right. Well, I'm looking at the chat. I don't see any comments. Let me see here. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, there has been a chat. Oh, snap. Sorry, guys. Oh, gee whiz. I had the wrong setting on there. All right. Sketch therapy, what's going on, man? Xeon, what's going on? Uncanny Kodiak, what's up? Let's see here. Tommy Sarkinen, good morning. How are you? Sovereign does look awesome. Yes, yes, yes. 550 backers. Yep, yep, yep. He's trying out YouTube Live and probably didn't pull out the chat. That's exactly what happened. Bear, that's exactly what happened. Everybody's making fun of me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotcha. I gotcha. Is this an Atomo character? It is not an Atomo character, but I just wanted to get this one off my head because it's in my brains. Well, good, good, good. All right. Dude needs a toothpick. Yeah, well, you know. Let's see. So, when we first met, girl, oh, do you remember? Do you remember? So anyway, it's a cool dude. I'm kind of excited about that guy. Kelly says, "Do Elliot ignore the Twitter and Insta messages about the chat?" Almost as cool as beard as yours. Ha! Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So yeah, I I was using Cali ink. Cali ink. Don't know if you guys care about that. It's non-clogging, waterproof ink, but it does dry out. So if it's in your pen too long, it will dry out your pen. And yeah, so let me. I just found some paper in this pad that was clean, and I thought, oh man, let me draw this guy that I've came to my head earlier. Might be an interesting campaign. Maybe something I'll talk to someone else about. Let's see. I'm trying with my fingernails. I'm nervous these days. Let's see. I was drawing Tomo yesterday. Hey, Rodwell, how are you? Well, thank you, Felix Haas. I appreciate that. Hmm. 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 Do that a little bit. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Who's afraid of the big black bat? So, okay, so I don't want to draw Batman. I'm supposed to be cooling down. So Zion wants to ask me a question. Go for it, Zion. As long as it's appropriate for general audiences. And I hope it's not too personal because I don't like to answer personal questions here and on social media. If it's too personal. Sometimes I get personal questions. I don't know why. Mm, this is why I need to get my setup squared away. Let's see if that works. That should work. All right, let's not use that as my thing. Tom says Evie has posted colored cyberpunk page. He did say his book was almost kid friendly, I think. Well, I do not think I feel that way. You don't, huh? How important are critiques for artists? How important are critiques? That's a good question. Well, I would say that critiques, you got to be careful with critique. Okay, there's a couple of things. Um, I know that a lot of people feel very strongly about being able to critique anything. I think critiques are a dime a dozen. They're opinions. So, what did you get at Walmart that you're waiting on? Let me answer that question real quick. Sketch up. I got a new chair, new drawing table. I got another new chair for my drawing table, and I got the other chair for my computer setup. So I'm not killing myself with clogs and such. And I'm also getting a footrest, two chairs, and the drawing table. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from Walmart. I needed to upgrade those because I was having a hard time working in my office. That's why I was doing all my videos out of my dining room. So if I was drawing if I was drawing a military book, KSSS, I would be leaving it to the colors. I wouldn't be interested in that unless I don't know. It depends. There's a technique I can employ, but I'm not trying to kill myself. It also depends on the type of book. I was just listening to these guys talk about, whether something would be a good way to do, um, a fast versus short. And, I know, I was just listening to Kung Lee was expressing his opinion about mangaka and how some of those guys are producing like 20 pages a week. And that's cool and all, but the style they're using is a style that I think works especially well for production art. And it's no slight on them at all. I love Akira Naoki Urasawa is one of my favorite artists. And you compare him to, say, a Katsuhiro Otomo, who's really detailed. I could never be that detailed in my work. So anyway, but back to critiques. I'll come back to that concept in a minute. Let me answer this question. So as far as critiques are concerned, I think you got to be careful where your critiques come from or where you listen to them from. I would get critiques from people you trust. I wouldn't necessarily depend on mob critique, where people can just express any little idea. Anyone can tell you, oh yeah, I think you should do this instead. At the end of the day, a critique is important, that you need to be able to fulfill the critique or fulfill the components of that critique. And I would say that, it needs to be something coming from a source that you trust, that has your best interest in mind. Not someone who has their best interest in mind and is trying to get you to draw what they want you to draw, how they want you to draw, or what they want you to draw. So that's different. Now, you can't help it if you're working for a client. I'm just saying, if you're doing critique, in general, general critiques. So, okay, so the reason I asked was because I know it helps some artists, but for me, I don't feel comfortable with just anyone critiquing my work, especially if I didn't ask. Well, that's fair. Now, if you post it online, though, you're going to get critiqued because it's kind of understood that what we're doing here online is you're putting yourself out there to be observed and either appreciated or discussed. So you can't get too upset if people critique your work. That's just a function of what social media is. It's social, and people are going to express themselves. So just kind of go with that, and whatever that means, and you'll be okay. All right. So Sketch says that's good for the old back. Gotta work comfy too many hours on the art to do it in pain and discomfort. That's very true. And also because I'm right now, I don't have a real good chair, and I've been holding off for a while. I always avoid trying to get your average chair from a discount place because they usually don't last very long, like a Walmart or whatever. Most of those chairs are designed just for show or for people who are very small. IKEA chairs are also that way. Although they do make chairs graded, they're graded as they also have weight restrictions or limitations. Uh, so if you have a weight, or also there's some that are graded for time, like how much time you're spending in the chair, how many hours. Some are 8 hours plus. Unfortunately, I don't know how many hours the chair I'm buying is rated for. However, it is set for weight up to 275 pounds. So that's good for me. Um, uh, Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it, Uncanny Kodiak, my friend, Mr. Bear. I appreciate that very much for helping me out with the links because, like I said, I'm just doing this live like if we were off the phone. So I don't have any options. Although I probably could. Well, that's not true, right? I guess I could just open up a separate. Oh, why are you sad? I don't understand why the sad face. It doesn't make any sense, bro. No sad faces, please, 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 please. No, don't do that. Oh wow, this thing is fast. Okay, let me go ahead and share this while I'm at it. On the Twitters, on on the Twitter, also on the Facebooks. Yeah, yeah. It's Gutenheimen. I made that up. I don't know what that means. That's not even a word. Public, not to be confused with Publix. So anyway, put my mouse back on. I was using my mouse for my. Oh, you know what I do have? I wonder if I should use this. I actually have. Oh, knocking stuff down. I actually have some pieces of wood here. This is just a temporary setup, as I've shared with you guys before. This is not meant to be eternal. And that works okay. This is my computer station, so I won't be keeping it this way. Sorry, a typo. Okay. So anyway. Yeah, critiques are funky, man. I mean, some people, everybody wants to critique. Anyone can critique. Anyone can give their opinion. But an educated and informed opinion is rare. So you want to listen to critiques that are meaningful. You want to listen to critiques that are hopefully objective versus subjective. And I also want to listen to critiques that are constructive, even if it means having to scrap the project or scrap the drawing or whatever. It's at least in the spirit of building it up, making it better versus this sucks, don't do it. Those aren't really critiques. Those are just opinions, and you can't do anything with an opinion. But if I want to grow, and if what you're hoping to do is help me grow, then by all means, a better solution to that is a constructive criticism, which means is you're building up the art, building up the process, building up whatever, hoping to give it a better shot at being successful, whatever success means for that particular idea. If you're entering it into a contest, what are the criteria? Are you meeting the criteria? Oh, you didn't meet the criteria here. This looks like it's going against the criterion. Therefore, this is something you want to avoid. That's a constructive critique. But if your critiquing is If the critiquing is just destructive and this is stupid. How'd you do this? Why'd you do this? This is dumb. You're an idiot. That's destructive criticism. It's not helpful. You can't take anything away from it because the opinions are completely subjective. They're not offering any real information. So I wouldn't listen to those kinds of critiques. They may classify as critique, but I don't think they actually classify as critique. All right. Okay, so yesterday I was working on the commission, took care of that. And let me see if I can zoom out a bit. I'm a little close, perhaps. See if that works. All right, so you meant to ask how was my holiday. Holiday was good. Very productive, fun, good time with my family. Very happy right now. Oh, it's funny, I'm not getting a lot of changes in my art. Huh, that's fascinating. Fascinating. So it's interesting. I'm not getting any adjustments in my camera. Hmm. Huh. It's stuck on this close up. Where is it? I don't know. Cosmetti, how are you? Okay, so do you remember the time when we fell in love? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I am just kind of having a good cool down session with you guys. I was listening to Andrew Huerta and John Malin discussing his project called Sovereign. I hope that you guys will consider supporting that. I just did with the PDF. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so sometimes when I'm drawing, I like to draw more classically. I like to actually draw, right? So let's see if I can adjust my camera at all. That should help a bit. I just like drawing, and I'm not trying to draw comic style. I'm just trying to draw pretty. Is Andrew Huerta the same Andrew as your business partner? That is not. That is not. Andy Rivera is my business partner. Andrew Huerta is a buddy from the YouTube community that I run with. All right. Yes, it is unique. It is unique. This is actually me trying to imitate some of the great illustrators like Thurman Rockwell, Brandywine. It's more of a sincerely kind of a neoclassical look to it. I'm gonna run the risk of drawing every hair, but that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm gonna raise. I don't think it'll work either. I think that once I go live, it doesn't change. I can't alter much of my. CK says, I prefer the classic style. Favorite comic artists are people like Alex Raymond, Al Williamson, Hal Foster, Wally Wood. Yeah, those aren't really classics though. Those are still comic styles. They were still taking shortcuts with the human form. Not in a bad way by any stretch. Nothing, not in a negative or cheating way or anything like that. They were not really. I wouldn't consider those. That was still comic art. It was relying heavily on line versus tone and values. Although I did kind of fall in love with recently with Alex Raymond's Flash Gordon work. I like to get a hold of some of that stuff less expensive than what I see it online for. I just can't afford it. Let's see here. Had a great day. My godson's birthday was today. He just turned 5 years old, and he had a wonderful time. His baby sister's hanging out with us here. I think she's 2 or 3 years old. I think she's 3. She's or she's turning 3. I can't remember. New Year, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So yeah, so I love this kind of style. Let's see. Zion says, "I have to head out. Thank you again, Mr. Fernandez. If I don't see you beforehand, Happy New Year to you and your family. You too, brother. Be you too. And to everyone else. And to all a good night." I was telling my wife, man, we were talking about how I'm a little depressed about the end of the holidays, and as it happens for me from time to time. And I was telling her though, it doesn't have to be like that. Some of the concepts that I've been enjoying discussing lately is just how to share, where we are at the holidays throughout the year, and be more like that more often. Let's see. Kenny Kodiak says, "You have mastered several styles, including your own. Would you say that's how you did it? By stalking, binging on a particular artist at a time, drawing their style until you got the concept of it?" That's an interesting question, Bear. I kind of want to say yes to that. Uh, I don't know that I don't know that I have a style. My style is, if you're gonna call it my style, it's an amalgamation of all these different styles. And like when I'm doing, let me move my keyboard out of the way here for a moment. When I'm doing something, say like this for uh, Mike Gill, new to your channel. Great work, man. Thanks for sharing. Very inspiring. Nice. Thanks, man. I did the old art styles of Norman Rockwell too. Huge Rockwell fan. Yeah, yeah, I love Rockwell. But when you look at something like this, I'm kind of incorporating styles of that sort here. You know, this was inspired by chibi and super deformed Japanese and anime and manga. Um, I was watching Daredevil, inspired by Daredevil, and I got kind of carried away here. As you can see, I watched too much Daredevil at once. It's just kind of stuff that's inspired by more than just one artist. I don't know. I guess you can say that I guess I can only tell you what I did. What I did do was, as I moved along, some of these styles came from decisions about being simpler and moving faster. Sometimes a style is determined by the tool. If you're using a brush, then you're bound to ink a little differently than you would if you were inking with a nib. Yeah, this was done with a pen and brush. This Hellboy. Actually, I like this a lot. I should sell it. That's what I should do. A lot of brush work there. Some ink. I like doing combo. I'm also trying to limit the amount of time I spend on any illustration. So some of these styles need to evolve because they take too long. So those are some of the limitations that I would say affect my work. This is me trying to do, a more of a Katsuhiro, not Katsuhiro Tomo, but Naoki Urasawa, his style, applying it to what I was hoping to do with a Tomo. Unfortunately, I just sometimes I wonder what's marketable, what's not, and everyone says just do you, but the reality is a lot of people just do them and it doesn't sell very well. So I'm very, very, very interested to know what the market is demanding, and I want to give that a good effort. Then you see this stuff here. All this is just me drawing little extra things. Hey, Toom, how are you, man? Little extra pieces and adding things. So it's not even really a different style. I mean, I'm not being as hardcore with this look here. Like this guy here looks a little more classical, a little stiffer too, though. That's the only downside to that look. Um, I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that helps, but that's basically the way I approach anything. So I'm thinking about the components of a project that will matter at the end of the day. Like, is it going to be done on time? Is it going to have enough characters? What kind of backgrounds are there going to be in here? Thank you, Santiago Hernandez. I appreciate it. What's up, Humphrey? Um, so I'm definitely thinking multidimensionally as it relates to what I'm driving for. Draken says, yeah, I see writers ask about a thing for something they're writing, and the first response is almost always, just make it up, which such an annoying, useless thing to say to a writer. Yeah, that could be true. Mr. Fry, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? That's my man, always the businessman watching the market, never realizing he is the market. Well, I don't think that way, actually. I don't think I am the market. I had a interesting conversation with someone one time. I've taught myself over the years that I'm not my customer. My customer is always shifting, is ever shifting. And so how I approach, that a customer depends. And that's the background that I have from working in the t-shirt business. I had to be all things to all people. If you wanted me to draw something or illustrate something for you for your dealership, for Harley Davidson, that had a certain look, I try to emulate that look. Let's see. Dubstep Bronx says, man, I wrote a long comment on how artists get their own style, but it erased. What up, everyone? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I mean, it wasn't me. I apologize, but it wasn't me. Erased. Yeah, style just comes. Like I said, I often say it's tied to some of my limitations. What are the things I'm trying to accomplish? A lot of times I think it is the tool, because how I render something happens differently depending what I'm using. So for right now, for example, I'm gonna crack open my ink again and my pen. If I used a brush on this, it would look a lot different. But I don't know what it is about this dip pens. I tend to, there it is. Not sure if you guys see that. I'm gonna take my ink, dip it in, dippity, a little bit of serendipity. And this line will dictate for me some of what it will look like. Okay. All right, so the comment was too long. Oh, you should have copied it. And then, another illustrator that I'm a big fan of, old classic American illustrator, I believe it was American, maybe British, was Arthur Rackham. And I like the lines that he employed. Reminds me a lot of the way that I think Frank Quitely works. So this is something I like to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gorgeous. And it's very likely that he was using some sort of crow quill dip pen. There's no reason to use a brush. Mr. Salas, how are you? So I am definitely opening the gates for some new commissions. If you guys are interested, you may contact Andy at thelabcomics@gmail.com. That is Andy at thelabcomics at gmail.com. And he will get you squared away if you're interested in such a thing from me. Let's see. Now I'm just going to draw with the side of the pen now. Like I said earlier, I'm also not using the perfect paper for this, for any nib. This is more designed for dry media, anything that says vellum. I just like the look that I get sometimes from any tool on this sort of paper. Spirit Fire Soldier. Man, I like your style and technique. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Like I said, this is just one of many that I use. I think though, maybe Barry, you what you said might be I could challenge what I said to you in response. I think there is a general way I construct anything that I think is doesn't change. The substructure of most of my drawings are the same, but the hair reminds me of Johnny Quest. Huh. Sometimes I think my problem is I take this tool and I'm using it to do very literal interpretations of brushwork. And I have to make sure there's something to remember is that the tool that you're using has a specific design and purpose. And I'm big on that because sometimes we don't use. My big mantra in 2018 was the right tool for the job. I really shouldn't have limited that to 18. It really is a mantra that I'm going to continue into 19. And that is don't waste your time with a tool that was not meant for the job for which you intend to use it for. Does that make sense? I might be tax time from my commission. If you're slammed by then, I'll pay and wait in line. Allowed to do my scripts and settling story and the idea how to learn format for comic scripts. You know what's a good person to ask that, man, is Critias. Antonio Malpica. He's actually in went to writing school and stuff. But I would say that there are some good books. There's a I don't know if I'm going to give you the right answer to this. I think there's a couple of the DC books on how to write that offer. I think they offer basic, you know, components of script writing, but there's also programs that you can use. Doug Turnbull is also very adequate when it comes to giving you information as to what he uses an actual program that does it for him. Jargon says I have all the information for that and examples. Well, there you go. Draken's jumping in for you, jumping into the fray. That's might be true, but there are some like common formats I think that certain studios might be expecting or something like that. It's good to learn what at least has been done so you can know what you might be emulating or what you want to drive away from. All right. So as you can see, this is what it is. I can turn a gray sky blue. I can make it rain whenever I wanted to. Oh, I can do it. Yes, I'm also using a G pen nib from Tachikawa. I like this nib a lot, actually. It's it doesn't have a lot of give when it comes to thick and thin lines, but that's also not the point. When I first started using nibs, I was trying to emulate or simulate what I was getting from a brush, um, and I think that was a mistake. I think that's what I mean. I think you can learn some things from using a tool in a different way, either about the tool itself or even sometimes a new way to use it. I mean, let's face it, Photoshop was designed for photo manipulation. And then all of a sudden, people are using it for illustration. And eventually Photoshop became an illustration program almost exclusively. But they still have other cool gadgets for cameras and such. But let's see, I can get bolder lines. It's just not necessary. Or sorry, Javier Sala says it's cool to see you use different types of tools when you're drawing. Yeah, man, thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely am. I'm always a student. I'm always trying to learn, and still teaching myself. Like I said, what I'm sharing with you guys now is stuff that I've learned about myself and the way I use my tools that was very frustrating over the years because I wasn't using it to its fullest potential. I was using it to someone else's potential, or another tool's potential. Then I get frustrated with these tools, never use them again, and then I'm realizing, wait a second, this is not what it was intended to be. This is actually a good tool if it's used the way it's meant to be used. You can't get mad at a screwdriver for not doing what a hammer can do, or what a hammer was designed to do. So that's like, see those little notches? I would never do that with a brush. I'll try to do it, but it doesn't quite work. Oops. Let's see. All right. We can kind of do this sort of thing. Da da da. Da da da. Da da da. All right, that's fun. That's fun. So I'm just cleaning off my nib now. Ideally, I'd use something a little less snappy. This one's got a lot of nap to it. So for a tomo, will you be doing colors, lettering, etc.? I'm definitely planning to do pencils and inks. Depending on how well the campaign goes, that will determine what I can afford as far as colorists and letterers. Can you talk about more Tomo? I don't want to talk much more about Tomo right now. I mean, I could give you a little more information, I guess, but I'm really trying to keep most of my thoughts focused so I can get that rolling. You're going to hear a lot more about it coming soon. I'm hoping to get something going. I got to contact Proton Factors. What's up, man? Talk to Antonio about getting the stuff set up with Indicron and going from there. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I gotta, he's works and has weird schedule, so I have to wait for him to get off. I think he was off this weekend, but I kept missing him. All right, so let's switch back to my pencil. Let's do one more little sketch before I hit the road. Been a minute, homie. How you doing? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Let's put this here. Oh, pencil, pencil, pencil. My pencil. So I'm just gonna kind of free form or freestyle I'm not even gonna hold the pencil normal. I'm gonna hold it like this. So I'm not tempted to go too far in details. It'll force me to kind of just draw general shape lines and such. That's pretty detailed there, but not enough. Durkin says Critias probably uses full script formatting with more detail than a common script would need based on his background. That's probably true. That's probably true. Tommy says it would be awesome if you have a few pages colored for the campaign. It really helps getting excited. I won't have any pages colored. I might have a cover and it colored, but not pages. Okay. What tool do you think is your most difficult to use? You mean of my drawing tools? Um, I don't know. I think I have a pretty good command of most of the tools for drawing. Painting, that's something different, and watercolor at that. But I will say this, Tommy, as I go along, once the campaign begins and the script is starting to flow, I will definitely be having updates and pages even updated onto the Indiegogo campaign page. Sharpie's hard to use. It could be hard to use. But again, those tools, it depends on the purpose. So if I'm drawing something as small and detailed as this here, I wouldn't use a Sharpie because a Sharpie is just too small, right? Or too fat, too bold a tool. It wasn't meant for detailed drawing unless that drawing is 10 feet tall. And in that case, a typical Sharpie, even your giant Sharpies are going to still feel, like small lines on a 10-foot canvas. But when we're talking about small pages like this, I wouldn't use a Sharpie in the first place. So, as an example, I know you were kidding, but I'm trying to think of other examples of tools that I would do something different with. Because, yeah, Defender Detective Dead, I'm super excited for it. Wife called it Mike's all three books, my Christmas present. Nice, nice. There you go. That's really cool, man, that you guys are going that deep into the paint for this stuff. No, but you are joking. I see that dubstep, but at the same time, it's a good point though, because a lot of people will, don't they assume, like, I just had to paint something with acrylics that I didn't think I could do, and it came out better, but it's not the best thing I've ever done. I was surprised. I didn't sketch anything. I just went to paint and I accomplished some cool stuff. But ultimately, it's more than that that I want to do. So that's just one thing, and I wouldn't use that paint. And I found myself picking the right brush for the right line or shape. Blah blah blah. Spitfire Soldier says, "I barely discovered you 2 weeks ago. Are you getting a team started for publishing comic books and such?" So there's a comic book that I am working with a writer on called Comet Boy Atomo. Comet Boy Atomo, Atomo. Um, we are gonna. He's helping me put together the script and such, and we're co-plotting, co-writing stuff. I'm actually gonna do the plot, but he's gonna help me hammer things out for the finished product. And then we're gonna publish it through crowdfunding. So acrylics are fine. I still have jalapeno chorizo. I do love acrylic. I love paint, um, but it's a it's a slippery tool, which is why I go to digital so much. Okay, I've been in this chair for a little too long, guys, because it's starting to hurt me. It's 11:54. I have to skedaddle. I can only do so much drawing in this chair. I swear, it's things like I feel like I'm sitting on a rock. Anyway, how much time now? 57 minutes. So for about an hour. Okay, I'll wrap this up in a few more minutes. I'm drawing this little weird bug-eyed dude head thing. Jurgen says, like I said the other day, I'm free to try to do colors if willing to risk an untested color. It's probably what be cheapest too. We'll see, because I can color my stuff too, and I thought about that. It just kind of depends on where I am with time, to be honest, Jurgen. But I have looked at your work. You just got to take. I'm taking into consideration certainly, but at this point, it might mean budget is a concern because if it, I was looking at the price, with the amount of money that some people have made on their campaigns, and some of that wouldn't be enough that I need to do the book the way I think I need to do it. Unfortunately, it's going to put me in a weird spot. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think negative. I'm going to think positive. We're going to get that book published, and we're going to get people involved if we have to. And hopefully, it's going to do so well that you guys are going to be pumped up to back it up. That's what I'm shooting for, Tommy. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm not. And I might need that time, but I'm actually thinking I might be able to produce it sooner, depending on how the campaign goes. This makes me want to go and find an illustrator for my writings. Well, there you go, Spirit. This guy could be a cool villain, I bet, right? All right. I think I am at my threshold. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. I want to thank you for joining me and for being part of the Jerkmonger experience. I want to thank you for participating in the chat if you had, and for even considering participating if you thought you might and then decided not to. I'll take that. I'll take that too. But let's see. It's New Year's, yeah, man. Yeah, I hear you, Dubstep. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Are you really from the Bronx, by the way? Because I'm from the Bronx too. But listen, guys, seriously, it is. What day is it? What day are we in today? Is it almost? Oh, almost 31st. So it's almost New Year's Eve. Guys, God bless you all. I'm not kidding. I'm with you. Thank you for that comment, Dubstep. But I'm going to wish the same thing for all of you. This is our year. Every year is our year, but this one is our year. And I can't tell you what's going to happen in 2020, and we can't cry over what happened in 2018. But I'm telling you that today is our day. Today, we're going to slay that dragon. Today, we're going to kick its ass. Today. Today, we're going to make something out of the lives that we lead. Today, we're going to make choices that are going to shake the earth. Today, not tomorrow, not next year, today. Even if your earth-shattering advancements are just in planning, that's today. And we're not going to wait till tomorrow. We're not going to continue to procrastinate and let other people determine and decide for us who we're going to be and when we're going to get our stuff done and who's going to today we're doing it. Today we're going to make the most of our lives. Today we're going to grab our children and we're going to take our loved ones and we're going to tell them how much we love them and we're going to make them part of our lives and we're going to advance into the future as though we own it all today. Today. And we're not going to worry about what happened yesterday. I'm not going to sit here. I'm with Zach, Richard Meyer. I'm with him. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to deal with the old nonsense of people that hate me because I'm Comics Gate or no Comics Gate and blah blah blah. I'm done with that. This year, it's a Tomo. This year, Black and Red Volume 2. This year, other concepts that I can't share yet. But we are going to do it, guys. And it's only going to happen when we make those choices to get up off of our collective arse and move with strength towards the future. I found this. This is something I used to have in my office. I don't know if I have it here. What did I do with it? I think it fell. Here it is. This is where we're going to be. We're going to wake up. We're going to kick ass. We're going to repeat. That's what we're doing. So, God bless you guys. If I don't talk to you later today, because it's already now, New Year's Eve, I wish you all a wonderful and safe New Year's Eve. I wish you all a wonderful and prosperous new year, productive new year, a new year of strength, a new year of power, a new year of financial peace. I wish it for you guys. May the Lord bless you guys. Godspeed. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.